Yeah.
Good morning, folks. Welcome everybody to another episode of the House of Nerd Show. It's our 1 year anniversary weekend, man. You know, we've been doing this thing for 1 year now. We've had a blast with you. We're here to hang out with you guys. We got a dope creator coming on shortly, Mr. Sheldon Allen. I hope you folks paid attention to that intro. All right. I got a question for you. Real soon, there's gonna get earn you a bonus entry into the giveaway that we're gonna do at the end of the show. So, folks, make sure you stick around for that. And yes, be sure to drop HON 1 year in the live chats to be entered into the giveaway. I got a bunch of signed books for everybody. I do I do want to thank everybody who's in the live chats who's hanging out with us. I see Fresh Princess. Good morning, my homie from the sick from Toronto, Philly Phil. Thank you. What's going on, homie? We got Film Noir. You know, thanks so much for coming through, and of course, Inja. It's good to see you. I saw your comment you left on the open bar. Yo, so we had a blast with you guys on Friday night. Al, you want to talk a little on the open bar shenanigans real quick? How you doing?
I don't even remember it. Can you hear me? I feel like my mic isn't working.
You're coming through loud and clear.
Should I turn my mic down?
No. We're cool. I like that level. I like that. Comics will break your heart. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for coming through. Yeah, so you no recollection of Friday night?
Oh, Friday was cool.
I've
been sick this week, so I probably overdid it on Friday. So
okay.
But it was fun. I think I middle of the night drunk bought that Maze Wick hardcover, and in the morning I said $125, but I left it. It's nice.
So you had the walk of shame in the morning, is what you're
saying.
Yeah,
you buy stuff after you drink or no? That's just me.
Ooh, I try to stay off the eBays and the Amazons when I'm drinking. I'm liable to yeah.
I get real bold with my haggling on eBay when I've been drinking. So yeah, I don't go on there. But I saw that hardcover. It was fun. Mel, Tara, Phil was there.
Good morning, Mel. Hey, Mel, we had an absolute blast with you. Phil was there. Who else was there in the chats? Fresh Princess, Juan, of course. You know, Anika. A lot of dope people. Cookie, so good to see you, Cookie. Yeah, we had a great time. So we want to thank everybody for coming through.
I think Juan had a lot of things to get off his chest. That was nice. Ruben with the hub searches. Yeah, he.
So definitely, folks, if you didn't get the opportunity to catch us live, it's on the channel. Check out the open bar shenanigans, man. A lot of dope people coming through to hang out with us. So later on at the end of the episode, we got the giveaway for you. And I'm gonna play that second intro one more time. You give you guys a folks to get that bonus entry for the latecomers. But today, folks, we're excited. We're hype to be hanging out with Sheldon Allen, man. Sheldon Allen, listen, he's the writer of Snatched, writer of Crucified, Concrete Jungle, all dope reads from Scout Comics. So you know what? Let's no more delays. Let's just bring him on in. If you could do the honors of adding him to the studio, let's go. Sheldon Allen, what's going on, my man? Thank you so
What's
much
going
for
on, bro?
how you doing, bud?
I'm chilling, man. Like I told you earlier, I cannot complain. Everything's good over here. How are you?
Hey, hey, I'm blessed, man. I'm here. It's a Sunday morning. I'm here. Dope creator, dope co-host, dope community we're hanging out with. Listen, to be honest, man, me and myself and Al, we've been looking forward to this. We've been wanting to bring you on for some time. So thank you for
Oh,
coming
are
to
you
the
gonna
house.
tell the truth finally? Who put you on?
Well, what truth is
Let's
that, man?
let's put you on blast right now. Who put
Well,
you
let's do it. Let's do
on?
it. What's going on here?
Let's do it. Who put you on?
To snatch?
Mm.
Ooh, that was on me. That was on me. What's going on?
Okay.
Is there a
Well, thanks
truth?
for having me, and I'm glad she put it out. She's actually an extremely important person to me, even if she doesn't know it, because she was one of the first people to actually co-sign Snatch,
Mm.
and she was actually the first woman. And I know we shouldn't necessarily single out women. They're just like anybody else when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
comic reading. But in this case, it was super important to have a woman co-sign that book because it's about an issue that primarily affects women. So when I got that co-sign for her, it was just like I didn't even know who the person was at the time, but just to get it, it's like, all right, so I haven't done anything to offend somebody too much. At least I got it right. At least it's coming off as a little bit authentic. And more than just co-signing, like she said, she put people onto the book and she actually recommended it. And that's something that she didn't have to do. So, like I said, she has my eternal gratitude for doing these types of things.
It's one of the best books I read last year, for sure. And then the authenticity in it, even like between the interactions with the different communities, and just being a black woman and knowing how nuanced it is, like in some situations where you might want to co-sign one side and it's like, I don't know if I could do that. But it was a really, really good book.
And when we talk about authenticity, we got to talk about credibility. So, like I said, she's not gonna just co-sign anything. If it's trash and doo doo or caca, she'll probably just remain silent about it. There's absolutely nothing for
Yeah.
her to come out and say, hey, you know what, this book is really good. She could have absolutely, just been like used to like break her weed up on or something like that, or like prop up a faulty table or something. But I do appreciate it.
We're gonna keep it all the way 100 on the show. You said it already, Sheldon. I gotta be honest. I was the one to put me on. Uh, I'll be completely honest, man. She was trying to put me on for months, and I kind of I dismissed the book on the topic. I just kind of read the previews, folks, I'm gonna say this: the previews synopsis does not do this book justice. This book is not what you think is gonna be about. So I'll be the first to admit I overlooked it. I dismissed it. But I said, you know what? Al's been on my case to get on this. Let me finally read it, and sincerely blown away, man. I said, this shit is dope, man. Why? I regretted it instantly from issue one. I said, I should have been reading this from time. So shout out to Al, definitely with the dope recommendation. And Sheldon, you're touching on authenticity. That is probably, I think, Al, if you remember, one of the first comments
Hmm.
I made to you about the book. I said, this comes off as very, very real. The dialogue,
The
uh,
dialogue, yeah.
especially very authentic, genuine, coming from a place that the writer is not forcing it. You know what I mean? I mean, Alec, you could probably explain a little bit better than me. We've read some some other
Yeah,
books
we've
where
read some books where there's minorities and there's dialogue where it's like, that's super cringy. Or you could, I don't know if they just Googled like how do black people talk or something, but this was definitely like very authentic, very like even the dialogue for the ethnicities maybe you're not like it's still like ring natural and nothing. And but I'll say that through Crucified and Concrete as well, the dialogue is, I think, one of like your strong points for sure.
Right. So like I had a high school teacher. His name was Mr. Perno. We were so bad. We used to call him Mr. Porno, and he used to hate it. He used to drive him crazy. But that's when I first started writing, and I remember I was like writing. It was a script at the time I was writing about New York or something. It was based in New York, and I remember him saying to me, he's like, "Well, have you been in New York?" And I was like, "No." And he gave me one of the greatest pieces of advice about writing that I still keep in the back of my head to this day. And he's like, "Well, you need to write what you know. Write what you know." And so, when you talk about the dialogue and, it coming off as real and genuine, that's because that's kind of just the environment I grew up in. Not necessarily, not, people shooting up meth labs and cutting off hair, but, just, that urban environment. We spoke a little bit earlier. I'm from Miami. I'm in Miami, and Miami, it's a weird place, man. It's like hood, and then like 100 feet later, you're like in the most exclusive enclave that you've ever seen in your life. And then another 100 yards later, you're in a middle class neighborhood. Then you're like in another hood. So you're going to interact and you're going to come into all those different demographics and all those different little corners. And so, that's just stuff that I just soaked up as a sponge because I was able, I was in all those different little elements. I was in honors classes, but, my family, they live in the urban center, and then my family, they're from Southern Georgia. So I got to experience all that stuff, and it comes out in the page. At least hopefully it comes out in the page.
It absolutely does. Yeah, one of the standout definitely comes off as authentic. Um, and then representing all the like you're from Miami, super multicultural city, and that's shown in the books that you've written. So kudos to you, man. Just great stuff that you're pumping out. But before we get any further into discussion, for those folks who might not be familiar, Sheldon, with your works, can you hit us with a little bit of background? How did you get into the comics game? What is your origin story? And you mentioned you're coming from Miami, so hit us with a little bit of background info for those who might not be familiar, please.
Yeah. So my origin story, it actually began almost 20 years ago. I was pretty young. I actually had a Spider-Man book published by Marvel. Um, It was Spider-Man Unlimited issue. It was actually drawn by Jim Cheung. I always tell the story. The backup writer of it was Scott Gimple. He's like the showrunner of The Walking Dead now. But
Yeah.
yeah, this started like 20 years ago, and for whatever reason, I kind of sort of just stopped comic writing for a minute, and I came in contact, with some coworkers at the time for where I was working, and they were doing a little creepy Google thing where they just Google you and see what comes up. And they saw that I had wrote a comic book. And, oh my God, you wrote a Spider-Man book? I'm like, yeah. And at this point, it's kind of sort of like nothing. You're not really impressed about it because something that happened years ago. And like, well, do you still write? I'm like, not really. And they're like, well, you should keep doing it. I'm like, whatever. At that point, I was kind of like over it. So I cracked open the old PC, the old files, and I looked at some of my writing. And I was like, yo, I'm not bragging, but I was like, yo, this shit is pretty good. I was pretty good. I was like, I should go back to like maybe finishing some of this stuff,
Okay.
And I was a little bit hesitant. I had a little bit of anxiety, which I don't normally get. I was like, well, maybe I'm not as good as I used to be. Maybe that was me at my peak. And I found that I was a faster writer with more maturity. I felt that I was a more reflective writer, more introspective writer, and I was better. So I was like, all right, Crucified, I had written like close to 10 years ago. So I dusted that off and I updated it. So I was looking for an independent publisher. and I happened upon Scout. One of the things that attracted me to them were they were a Florida-based publisher. So Crucified was kind of sort of my unofficial comeback. Not that anybody was looking for me, but it was like my comeback. And once Crucified happened, I rolled right into Concrete Jungle, which I had written years ago. I just updated that one. And Snatch, I had written years ago, and I updated that one as well. And I actually finished it. Snatch was unfinished, so I had to go ahead and finish that. So that's my little disconnected comic book origin story. Started decades ago, and it continued later on. I had like a little life in between, and then I finally got back into it. You never lose that creative itch, whether you're a musician or a filmmaker or an artist. You can stop doing it for ever, and you never lose that itch. You never lose that drive to want to continue to create. So I think that's what happened to me. Even though I wasn't doing it, it was always sort of in my soul. All right, I got to get this creative outlet out here. I got to release it and unleash it somehow. So that's what ended up happening.
That's crazy. So we're thankful that you got back into the comic game, and to be honest, I didn't realize, man, you wrote a Spidey book, eh? That's crazy. That's
my
crazy.
first published book was by Marvel, and it was Spider-Man. That's like a bucket list for some people, but it was like the first thing for me.
That's honestly
so when I creepily Googled you and I saw like the interview on what was it, on previews for Black History Month, I was like, okay. And you know what, it threw me off when it said Miami, because I was like, because I feel like you write Los Angeles so well, and I'm coming from that area, so I was like, really, Miami? I was like, Florida? Okay.
So
but
I kind of, in that little blip in between me writing, I actually did a little stint in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And of course I left because, me being from Florida, we don't do that earthquake shit. So like it was like a little earthquake. It was like a little baby earthquake too. And I'm like, I'm good. I'll take a hurricane any day of the week over an earthquake. But
that's so
yeah, I did a small little stint, thinking you miss it, stint in Los Angeles. But I've always said one of the reasons I've always loved LA is because it reminds me so much of Miami. I've always said that, Miami is the smaller version, the baby version of Los Angeles. And so I always felt familiar in Los Angeles. I always love Los Angeles whenever I visit. I can't wait to get back there. So yeah, I know LA pretty well.
Okay. Yeah, like
so
especially
LA is the. Sorry, go ahead, El. Yeah.
No, I was just saying, like what you were saying earlier with like on one street it's like the hood, and then the next street over you're Hollywood, and then it's like Skid Row's on the same block as like restaurants you're paying like $800-$900, and so it's I resonated with that.
So Snatched set in Miami. Crucified
Snatch is actually set in LA.
Oh, is it LA as well?
Yeah, California and Mexico.
Gotcha. Yeah, apologies. As well as Crucified, set, or at least it starts off in LA. Definitely gonna get into that. So the big one though right now, Snatched, scheduled folks to drop. Now we say scheduled, things things can always change. The industry is crazy right now, but it is scheduled to drop May the 11th. The trade paperback collecting the issues of Snatched, obviously. Can you tell us a little bit about Snatched, what it's about, why people should pick it up, and people, you should be picking up this book, man. Is great stuff.
Yeah, so just kind of going back to what you said about, you kind of sort of read the solicitation and you're like, it's about the human hair traffic trade, which kind of sounds like a weird, quirky thing at first when you hear about it. You're like, all right, well, what kind of book is this? Is this a comedy, or is this what's going on here? And then you kind of open it up. You're like, okay, this is kind of sort of the real deal. Like, this ain't no joke. So it's about the human traffic trade, or the human hair traffic trade. I always do a little elevator pitch. I saw you did one the other day. I think it works. It's like traffic, except instead of with cocaine and drugs, it's with hair.
I
And
hope I wasn't too far off with that.
no.
Okay.
You're right on point. You're
Okay.
absolutely right on point. And
Yeah.
I always tell people the story of Snatch and the genesis of Snatch. It began actually in hair stores. Look, like real talk, especially down here in Miami. If you're dating a woman, especially a black woman, you're gonna spend some time in a hair store. You're just gonna spend some time there. You're gonna become familiar with it. And I was spending a ton of time in these hair stores. And you're kind of just wandering around these huge canyons of just like hair products and hair and everything. And your mind just starts to get to wandering, and you start thinking, well, where does this hair even come from? So that was the initial seed of Snatch. I was like, well, what if this hair is coming from people who are being murdered and they're being scalped for their hair, and the people who are buying it, do they even know where it's coming from, or would they even care? Mm-hmm. So that's where it started. And I started doing a little research, and I found out, wait, this is actually a real thing. There actually is a hair traffic trade, and it actually is pretty serious, and it actually is pretty big. So, that all sort of just tied together and came together. I always try to sell it as, it is a real issue, but the book isn't super heavy. It's not like, I'm preachy or anything like that. It's a serious issue, but don't think it's, we're trying to like, message. I don't know if you ever seen that movie, Don't Be a Menace to South Central. It's not a message book, but yeah, it's about the human hair traffic trade. And a lot of the comments I've been getting from people, they went off and they kind of sort of did their own research, and they're like, I had no idea this was happening. And that's really fulfilling to get those little comments like that. So yeah, like you said, the trade is dropping. I'm really excited. Second volume is already written, just to make it a trade. That was a big thing, because like you said, it's not necessarily an easy sell. It's not an easy sell. It's a foreign world. It's about a product, and it's about a lifestyle that not necessarily everybody is familiar with. Mm-hmm. So just to make it with trade, make it to trade, that's a blessing. That's an honor.
Yeah, so congratulations on that, Sheldon. We're all looking forward to picking up the physical copy, the trade of this one here. I gotta say, you sold me. I think it was the very first page of issue 1 when you had Selena and Los Dinos reference. I think they were playing as one of these bubbles here. They were playing it in the background. And I said, hold on, my man is dropping the Selena references in this. I said, okay, Sheldon's a real. So you had me there. You had me sold from there. I'm a big fan of Selena.
As you should be.
Yeah, man. So I said, my man is a real one. He's starting off. I said, and I basically fell in love with the book from there, because it's like you said, Sheldon. Just to reiterate what you're saying, it is the hair industry. But folks, it's done in a way like you see the different steps, like the drug trade, right? Like from distribution, from where they're getting it, like the raw product in Mexico, what they're doing, shave. You see here, like they're shaving like or in another panel, the scalps of like these victims, these dead bodies, all the way down to the storefront, the guy selling it at the counter, and then with your clientele and all that stuff. So and then what I was wondering when I was reading this is this like a real thing? Because I was not familiar with any of this. And then like you mentioned, sure enough, do a little Googling, and it's just like, oh, this is some crazy stuff. It reads very well. And I know I know you. This is one of your favorites as well.
Yeah, I saw the book initially in like a previews thing before it came out, number one, and I was like, again, the previews world description maybe isn't the best, because the book was way more involved in anything that was described. But I didn't know who you were as a writer either. But the scene where with at the hair store, I was like, this has to be a black man, writing this, because if it's not, they they really nailed that, you know, cultural conflict of hair stores being owned by other races, but you know, Black women being the primary, you know, consumer in these areas. And so I was like, if he's not, and so I Googled you then, and I said, the relief I felt. I said, okay, I could get back
It's
into
true.
it.
She told me I'm gonna cry if he's not.
It's crazy. Well, a couple things too. One thing I want to comment on, and that's actually my fault with the description. I think what you guys are saying about the descriptions of the book, I think that could be applied to all of my books, because if I have one weakness as a writer, it probably is writing the solicitations. That is absolutely an art. It's a definite art, and I've always been just read it, but that's easier said than done. People are flipping through entire catalogs, and you got like 10 seconds to grab their attention. So yeah, that's definitely on me. And as far as hitting upon those cultural issues, one of the things I hope, without hammering on the head, and I really shouldn't even say it because I don't want to give it away necessarily, not that it's a spoiler, but it's something I would hope you can see through the writing, and it's reflected through the writing, is that you have this industry that is for women. It's driven by women, but yet all the major players are men. And that's not something that's lost upon me, and that's something I'm trying to at least put forward and illustrate. How's this entire industry dominated by men, but is for women? That's actually what the title of the first arc is. They hate what they need, basically. They basically, all this violence towards women, this just disrespect and animosity toward them, but they wouldn't be making the money that they're making off of this product if it wasn't for women. So like I said, I don't want to come off as like a message book or too heavy, but you will see little dots and just little clues of some points I am trying to get across, hopefully.
And I think we both secretly were obsessed with Priya. And every time Priya was in a panel, we were like, okay, it's Priya time.
She's not gone. I actually have a friend, one of my best friends, actually. She's of Indian descent, and she swears to this day that Priya is based on her. I'm like, Priya is not based on you. I was like, oh my Lord, stop telling people that. She gives the book to people, and they swear
It's like a compliment and a not compliment.
And I'm like, no, that is not you.
Character. Oh man.
She has gotten the best response of any of the characters in the book, which is somewhat surprising to me. I was a little worried about the character. I will say you definitely have not seen the last of her. She hasn't gone anywhere, but she definitely has gotten the best response.
There's a particular scene that was like was it the hotel scene? I was like, Priya, but then I was like, Priya, okay.
I gotta be honest. I felt bad for my man Mo, the fiance. I said it is Mo, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I said, ooh, yeah. I felt rough for him, but hey, listen, you got to step up. But Mo had a rough ride in the first volume, so we'll see. Maybe greener pastures moving forward. I don't know, man. But one of the great things is all the characters, man. They really do. They each have their own unique voice. Sometimes when you're reading a book, a lot of the characters, they tend to have like a similar, like, how was the best way? Maybe the writer is not a unique twist to each one, but it's like
differentiating.
But it feels like like you could get like a lot of different backstory on each one, their history, where they're coming from, and you really delve into the different characters because there's different. And this is why I bring the traffic comparison. You got the different characters kind of intermingling and how they kind of come together and interacting, not necessarily directly. So you're getting different perspectives of the hair industry and the different stages. And and there was another scene, I think. What was it? The one that we're on the couch with is it Andre, and then and his girlfriend, his wife, on the couch, and that was great, and just kind of, you know,
well,
so
you gotta have you gotta have some sort of an emotional foundation, I think. Well, it's crazy that you came up with the traffic reference, because I think it applies to how you were just describing the book, even though I wasn't necessarily thinking about it at the time, but I think it works now that I think about it, which is that, I don't know if you remember in the movie Traffic, but each kind of sort of setting, Steven Soderbergh, he famously was his own cinematographer on that film. So each setting, it has a different type of cinematography to it. He filmed each scene differently. So you can not necessarily know that you're in a different setting, but it's almost like each one's its own character and, you know, its own individual storyline. So it had its own unique look. And you know, that's the way I kind of sort of approached it with this, in that, you know, each storyline, it's its own character. And, you know, the fun is seeing how it's all going to come together eventually.
love it. A lot of fun, folks. Can't recommend this one enough. Again, Snatched, scheduled to drop May the 11th. You've got some other books. You get, it's not your only one, man. Crucified.
Work.
You for sure, man. For sure. Crucified. Hey, listen, if I'm picking favorites, I'll probably be honest. Crucified, I love it, man. So good, so good. And we got a little bit of news that I'll let you tease in just a moment regarding Crucified. What is Crucified about, Sheldon? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah. Just in a nutshell, it's basically about the return of Christ. If he came today, how would he be received? What would the reaction be? And I have to go ahead and just sort of just stop right there and say, okay, this it's not a biblical story. You know, it's not like, you know, a retelling of the Bible. It's so much more than that. We see the reaction from government organizations. How would they react? Just different interest groups. You know, what would their response be? So in this first volume, you know, the Christ-like character, he's not even necessarily the center of the story. The center of the story is actually someone else. It's actually a hitman or assassin, whatever you want to call it, who's actually hired to kill the Messiah-like figure. And there's this question of, you know, is he real or is he not real? You know, is he authentic? Is he not authentic? So yeah, like I said, I wrote that one years ago when I was angry about just the state of the world and society. I'm like, well, you know, what would happen if Jesus even came back today? Would half the people claiming that they're Christian or Jesus, you know, a person of Jesus or Christ, would they even follow him? You know, how would he be received? So that was the genesis, no pun intended, of Crucified.
Yes, sorry, I was just taking a look at my notes there. So it opens up in LA, and you've got race riots going on between the Latinos and the blacks. So I said, okay. I said, whoa. So me and now we were already going back and forth over this one, getting into it. I really enjoyed the opening sequence, Sheldon, on this one. You know, just the way it was laid out, from the art to the dialogue in between, like the panels, the black bars, you know, had a very cinematic feel and style to it. So great opening on that one. You said modern day Jesus. We got you know, the man trying to get rid of him. Assassin is hired.
Not to interrupt you, that opening actually, it was born out of my first trip to LA. I'm maybe even dating myself a little bit, but I remember at the time there was just like all this talk about like the black versus brown in LA at the time, the Mexicans versus the blacks. And I remember I first went out there, like the way it was hyped up, like, you know, I was gonna get shot as soon as I like stepped out of LAX or something like that, was the way that it was built up. And I just remember that time. It was just like a crazy time. And of course, when you get there, you're like, okay, I thought there was supposed to be a war going on out here. Like, well, was I lied to? Like, nothing is like really happening. And in fact, it was quite the opposite. And so, yeah, I just always had that, and I just always remembered that, and I just wanted to put that on the page, and I'm glad you
No,
saw it.
that's important that you said that, because I feel like, especially in like Los Angeles and those kind of areas, I feel like it's everybody besides the people who they say it are that are kind of hype up that tension. Because I lived for 7 years in Green Meadows in South Central. Not one time did I ever encounter anything I was like, the scariest thing was like somebody's dog got loose, and I'm afraid of dogs. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh my gosh. But me, like, I went into it. I'm from Orange County, and my husband, he's from South Central, and so moving from Orange County to South Central, I just knew, I'm like, I have to watch all the movies, right? So I watched South Central. I watched all those kind of movies, and I was like, wow, like, I'm about to die, but okay, like, I guess. And I went out there and I was like, this is like super chill, actually. Like, it's not, but I feel like there's so many people on the outside who are like, don't go here, don't go there. And I'm like, that's like like maybe in the 80s, but like 2000s, it's like there's obviously going to be, tension anywhere you go. But I did feel like people wouldn't want to come to my house that I knew from, the other cities. And I'm like, it's really not. Or people hitting me up like, what color should I wear when I come over? I'm like, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter.
And that ties into Snatch. I'm not Snatch, excuse me, but Crucified as well. And going back to what was said earlier, and it's like, who's really pushing these narratives? Who is really pushing these ideas that there's this animosity between the blacks and the Mexicans, and we get our answer in the first couple of pages in Crucified, and that's kind of what sets the story off in those first 13 pages or so, I believe it is, in the first issue.
Yeah. Again, some of the one of the dope things about the writing is the authenticity, and you're touching on some like real world stuff without being preachy about it, right? It's just this is what's out there, man. This is what we're facing.
Listen, my books, I always say they're genre books, and so Crucified is not a biblical book. That's, I always describe it. It's an espionage book or an action book more than it is a biblical book.
For sure.
You have these different elements in there, but most of the books that I do are genre books. Because at the end of the day, I never forget, we are trying to entertain. When I sit down to write a book, I've always said, I want to write a book that's like kind of punk rock, or like a rebel book that you kind of, if you were a kid, I was thinking about, if I was a kid, which book would I hide from my mom? Would I want my mom to see this book? Would she be okay to see this book? And if the answer is yes, I don't want to be writing that book. I want the book that I have to hide from my mom. A book that's going to be entertaining.
Hey Sheldon, that's a good point because not only Snatched, Crucified, folks, these are grown folks books. Don't get it twisted now. These are grown folk books, man. And in the best way, you got some scenes. There was a hotel scene with the assassin and the prostitute, man, the sex worker, and the back and forth dialogue.
Yeah, that was a really cool scene.
Oh man, you should see the notes I got from my editor.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, man, like, a little taken aback.
He's like, can we remove the panel where he's doing coke off of her butt? Like, you have to have that in there.
Okay, I hit up L. Right. I said, this is my favorite scene right here. This is my favorite scene right here. Yeah, you off the booty. I'm in. Forget it. But the dialogue, the back and forth, they're talking about both their professions, man, just came off really great. And you're talking about entertainment. Issue 3 of this series, my man, with the sermon, you got Black Jesus, he's preaching, he's in the arena, and then you got, not to give too much away, but it was intense, man. It was intense. I was just waiting, like, okay, what's gonna happen? You're waiting for what you think is gonna happen. I was sweating. I was sweating reading that. Like riveting stuff, man.
Appreciate it.
Folks, go out and cop Crucified, man. This one is a must cop. Now, we do have Sheldon some news regarding Crucified. Can you hit us with that?
Yeah. So the next edition is coming out. It's going to drop in July. It's called Crucified Exorcisms.
Boom.
It picks up directly from a plot point that kind of reverberates through the first volume. It's not an important plot point, but it is mentioned a couple times, and it picks right up on that thread. I hesitate to call this one volume 2. This was more of like an annual or one shot.
Okay.
So it is a bit different tonally. This was actually, we ramped up the action on this one actually.
Okay.
It's a ton of action. It's a bit different art style for that reason as well. But it is important because of what happens at the end. So eventually when we do get to volume 2, and once that one starts, it's going to pick up from the end of this one right here. It's dope, man. It's one of my favorite books that I've written. And I'm a writer who doesn't say that about every book. I know you have writers, oh, this is the favorite thing I ever wrote. This is the best thing. Now, this is actually one of the most fun issues that I've ever written. It's a double-sized issue. It's got a lot of action in it. It's got a lot of back and forth. I think it's pretty cinematic. If you love the first volume, I don't really see why you wouldn't love this one, even though it's a bit different tonally, but it's the same tonally. So it reminds me of those annuals from the Marvel days and the DC days that these are the stories that you wouldn't necessarily do in the main volume, but they're still important. Some of the most important characters are introduced in annuals or one shots. So there's a couple things that happen in this one that they'll blow you away, and you're gonna need to know going forward for the rest of the series.
Hype. When I tell you, I'm looking forward to maybe getting that review copy, that preview, so we can plug it and
soon as my letterer drops it's going to your inbox, both of y'all.
Hey, my guy, I know I was excited for that too. She every 30 minutes for the past couple of days. The Sheldon said the review.
I did not.
ma'am, you were excited. You want to check it out. We love your work. Yeah, stop like Sheldon, Concrete Jungle, your other scout book, drawn by Carl Mostert. Really dig this one too. Loving the art, loving the premise. Hit us with a little synopsis for Concrete.
So this one is set in Miami, but it's a Miami that's populated by robots and extraterrestrials. It's a detective story. They're on the hunt for a telepath who is hijacking people's bodies and using their bodies to commit crimes. So it's a crime science fiction story, but the main character is probably one of the most corrupt cops that you will ever come across. Actually, she's a female detective, and she's super corrupt, but she's about her business, and she's about that life. So she's good at what she does. So it's a very Miami story, even though it has that science fiction setting. It's kind of a homage, love letter to Miami of the 1980s, which is its own like genre setting. Like you might have a Western, you might have like a bootlegging period. Miami in the 1980s, it's its own setting. So you got Scarface from that, you got Miami Vice from that, you got Cocaine Cowboys from that. So in many ways, it's my love letter to Miami.
Yep. Okay. So sci-fi. I don't know, but I got slight Fifth Element vibes in terms of just like the environment with the different characters, and it's a little futuristic and stuff, man. A lot happening, and I think part of that is to the art in this is fantastic, man.
Yeah, I didn't lose the artist. He's still around. It's just we have to go at a slower pace because he actually got picked up by DC. He actually did He did like the DC Deceased. He did one of those volumes.
Okay.
So he's been working for DC, but he's pretty much put a virtual gun to my head and made me promise him not to get another artist for volume 2. So he's doing the pages for volume 2, which is going slower than he would like, or both of us would like. But I always tell him, I'm like, shoot, you getting money, handle your business first. You know, we'll get to volume 2. Just get the pages, even if it's 1 or 2, you know, per month. We'll eventually finish it. But volume 2 is wild, and you know, for me, I wrote it. I just wanted to write something for him to draw. And that was one of the main attractions for Concrete Jungle when I dusted that off. I kind of tailored it for his art style when I first found him, and I really appreciate the comment on the art.
Art is incredible, man.
This Concrete Jungle, chef's kiss. Love the pages are so, and that opening sequence, like visually, so good.
Yeah, there's a lot of little Miami references in there, like that strip club that they go to. That's actually a pretty popular strip club down here in Miami. Which, yeah, by the way, like Miami is just like strip club central. If you ever come here, like, you know, in other places, other cities you go, they're like, well, you know, it's by the McDonald's, you make a left there. It's by the Burger King, you make a right. Like down in Miami, it's like, oh, it's by the Tootsies, and you make a right at the Tootsies, and people know what you're talking about. That's like how many strip clubs are down there.
I'm not even mad at that. I'm not even.
He's writing down the directions right now.
I am.
You said a right at Tootsies.
I heard Tootsies. Okay, and keeping it with the adult theme here, I gotta say you hint at your taste in adult actresses in the adult porn industry. Namely, we got like a reference to Nina Hartley, Tracy Lords, Ebony Ayers, and I said, my man is cultured here. You know, you can't go wrong with those. Those are the classics. So a little maybe folks.
Remember, I said I had written it years ago. I was a younger man when I wrote it, so you kind of sort of being bombarded with all that stuff when you're writing, and it kind of just bleeds into your writing.
So I know those are way back playbacks. Those are little. We're going back a little there, but it's okay, man. Hey, those are some. Now I do take, you know, I do question the Ginger Lynn. I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm feeling that one too tough. But that's okay. That's okay. What else do you have going on, Sheldon? What are you up to these days, my man?
I'm just, you know, like I said, I'm just trying to put in the work, man, and hopefully my goal is to get 1 to 2 books out per year. So we got Crucified, Exorcisms coming out, and then I have another book that's completed. You know what? I'll go ahead and I'll announce it. The title of it is called They Choose Violence. That's the name of it, and it's probably the most violent book I've done. It's called They Choose Violence for a reason. And if you read my books, and I'm saying it's one of the most violent books, the most violent book I've done, you probably like, okay, that must be a pretty violent book.
It's saying something because you blow up dogs. You're blowing up dogs in your book. So, oh shit, how violent we getting here for?
It's called They Choose Violence for a reason. It's it's a reality based tale. It's one of those street based Sheldon Allen books. After that one, I'll probably take a little break from doing those types of books, and I'll probably get more into genre again, like fantasy and sci-fi. But I'm just trying to cover all the bases because, you know, my tastes, they're varied. You know, I love all genres. You know, I want to do a romance book of, you know, one of these days. You know, I love all genres. I'm trying to hit everything that I can. I'm trying to get it out little by little. So that's just my goal. Like I said, just putting in the work, trying to get enough work out there, and, you know, hopefully I can start going to cons again. Now that everything's opening up again, that's one of my goals because I definitely missed that. And, you know, at the cons, I don't even know how I'll be at the conventions. Like it's not that I don't mind selling books or signing books, but I just love the environment of a convention. I'm one of those who I like to walk around the convention and just take in the energy and the atmosphere. So, and just go to the different cities. So that's one of the things I'm looking forward to. But yeah, man, just look for my name out in previews and in different catalogs and just give my books, a try, because listen, I stand by my product. And one of the things I've always said is that, as a writer, the only thing I want is for somebody to read my book. I don't even necessarily care about the reaction. You could think it's like it's garbage. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't even wipe my ass with this book. That's fine. If you took the time to read it, I appreciate it. Whatever your reaction is. So at the end of the day, that's all you really want as a writer, and that's all you really want as a creator. Just to read the books. And if you see my name pop up, go ahead and give me a try.
Give it a try, folks. I guarantee you're gonna be entertained. I guarantee you. I promise you guys. We don't plug no mid here on the show, man. This is top tier entertainment, folks. We were talking a little earlier before we went on air. You're a ball fan. You're a hip hop fan. Who's your team in ball? Who do you follow? And do you have a favorite group or artist these days, or just in general, man?
Man, I rep the Miami teams all day.
Of
like
course.
that shouldn't even be a question. And the Miami Heat fans, we're the most petty NBA fan base. Easily. We are absolutely the most petty NBA fan base. And so, I'm repping for the Heat. I'm looking for us to get to the finals. And as far as
you
hip
guys
hop,
have the greatest gift ever made, the Boshkaki, one of the finest gifts ever. So shout out to Miami for that.
Yeah,
listen, we definitely unique. Trust me, definitely unique in our behavior and with the amenities.
And you guys got Lowry now too. You got my boy Kyle Lowry, who came from Toronto. You guys grabbed him in the offseason.
Man, listen, heat culture. That's all I gotta say. Heat culture. As far as hip hop, man, you know what? I guess I'm getting older, man. I still go to the shows all the time, and it's like I like these newer artists, but it's not for me. You know what I mean? And so it's like I went to like the Little Baby and Little Durk show not too long ago. They had a show here, and it was great, but it's like, it's not for me. I'm not that audience. And I can't say that a lot of these new dudes, they're putting out bad music, because it's far from it. The music it's legit, it's quality, it's just not for me. And so I'm that old head. When the Pusha T and Jay-Z song came out, I was like doing backflips, like my head exploded. That's more like where I'm at. So I'm one of those old school dudes when it comes to hip hop. Like I said, I don't hate on the new cats, because the kids I used to listen to who are definitely adults. Like, oh my God, I heard Juvenile talking the other day about how, like, when he puts back that ass up on his shows, it's like grandmas who are twerking to it now, who were like 16. He's like, they're like legit grandmas, like. But the people I used to listen to when I was a kid, the older heads used to hate on them, and they always used to kind of sort of rub me the wrong way. I don't necessarily think anything is necessarily generational. Like, good music is good music. Mm-hmm. It's just that stuff that's coming out today like I said, it's not geared towards me. You know what I mean?
Hey, I understand. I got you. I mean, I go back to my classics, the early to mid 90s up to even the late 90s. After that, I don't really mess with it too much. Man,
there's like a million babies. There's like a million babies, a million like littles out there, and like I can't really even tell them apart at this point.
See, there's the little generation. I'm part of the big. I'm BIG, big pun.
Right.
So that's my generation. But hey, Sheldon, listen, we had a fantastic time hanging out with you. Thank you so much for coming through again, and we're looking forward to exorcisms, man. I want everybody to keep your eyes open for that. And can we throw up that one more time?
Which one?
The diamond code for exorcisms.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. Anything before we get out of here, Sheldon?
No, man, I just appreciate you guys for having me. I appreciate you for reaching out and hounding me. I'm pretty reclusive. I pop a lot of shit on Twitter, but I am generally pretty reclusive. I kind of sort of keep to myself, but I really do appreciate you guys inviting me. I absolutely appreciate the support and all the plugs and just selling it to whoever. And anybody who's out there listening, like I said, just check me out, man, and just check out comic books in general, because I'm a fan of just the industry and of the medium. So even if you're not reading my book, pick up a comic book and try to sell that to as many people as you can.
Yes, sir. And you know what? Apologies. I just saw this audience question here. Favorite Pusha track?
Oh, man. So we're not going to include the clips, right?
The clips got some classics, though, man. Shit.
So we talking solo Pusha or clips Pusha? If we're talking solo Pusha, I know it's obvious. I know it's such an obvious answer, and it's probably not even the answer they're looking for. But to me, it's probably one of the most played tracks for me in the last 2 years, especially when I'm working out. If you know, that one will never not go hard. Yeah, the Ye production is insane on that one, and that's what I rock with.
Okay. I'm glad you didn't say the Drake diss. What's it called?
The story of Adonai or something like that.
Adidon.
Yeah.
I don't really think it was that good of a diss, to be honest with you.
Oh, no?
Real quick Drake story. I know you're probably running out of time, but real quick Drake story. So I was not a Drake fan when he first came out. Again, I'm dating myself again. I know you say you're from Toronto, so don't kill me for saying that. But I remember, so it was a girl I was dating at the time. She was in love with Drake, and she drugged me to the concert for his second album, Take Care album. And I was like a Drake groupie the next day. I was, oh my God, this is like one of the best shows I've ever seen. I was shocked at how good the show was. I was not expecting anything. But the reason I always tell that story is because you never know who you see, and you never know who you're going to come in contact with. The opening acts for that show were A$AP Rocky and Kendrick Lamar. But this was before they blew up.
Okay.
And so they were on stage, and people were at the concession stand getting their food. They're like, "Who's these guys? When is Drake coming on?" You looking back at it, oh my God, A$AP Rocky and Kendrick Lamar were at the same show with Drake, and we were out there getting nachos and hot dogs and Pepsi or whatever.
So that's big. A$AP and Kendrick, one of the very few modern hip hop artists that I'll listen to. Right there. You mentioned you've been up to Toronto a couple times. The next time you're in town, Sheldon, hit me up, man. Drinks on me. We'll do it.
Got it. Either you come down to Miami with your families or your peoples, hit me up as well. We could do family friendly, or we could do adult rated, whatever you want. Take your pick. We do it down here in Miami.
We're doing the adult thing. Baby. I'm trying to hit up Tootsies. Let's do it.
All right, man. I'm with it.
Sheldon, once again, thank you so much for coming through, man. We had a great time with you. Continued success. Absolutely looking forward to your future works.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, buddy. Have enjoy the rest of the Sunday.
Appreciate you.
All right, cheers, bud. There you have it, folks. Mr. Sheldon Allen, man. Guys, real talk. Check out his works. Entertaining stuff. Oh. What else
What's going on?
What else do we got going on today?
So I think somebody dropped the ball on everything today, huh?
Ooh, how about you show? I'll let you talk on that since that's your thing. That's your thing. What's happening?
So I reached out to Sergio earlier in the week, and I was like, "Hey, I'm really sick," and he's like, "Prove it. Doctors know. I don't believe you." And
Say
so
word.
no, I genuinely was sick this week, and so some stuff didn't get done. Some stuff did get done, but mostly not done. I haven't read a single book this week except for Sheldon's. That's that. And so I have some clips to show you guys from over the last year, but it's gonna be a struggle. Because I
mean, we could always save it for next weekend if you wanna try again. It's your call. I'll leave that one up to you.
It's up to you.
No, man.
It depends on if are you gonna kick me off the show if I.
Never,
what are the ramifications of this?
No ramifications, man. You've had you're under the weather. Well, this is what I'm saying on air. Wait till we get off there. Then you're
yeah, that's why I was like, I don't want to be on here.
I gotta be
Let's
nice on
just
there.
keep the broadcast going all day, so I don't have to.
Oh yeah. She's like, don't end the live, yo. I like he's not going too hard. But it's no real talk. If you wanna, we can save it till next week. I got a little some.
Well, and that's the thing that was disappointing was because like I made it, I was just having trouble exporting it as a whole. Like it kept dropping clips in the middle.
Yep. So you know what? That's all good. Let's save it till next week. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So what we do have, it's 1 year, folks. 1 year. I played an intro vid at the top of the show. I'm gonna play it again for those latecomers, for those that are just joining us.
And if you guys want to drop the hashtag, because the wheel is not full.
Oh, so there you go. Drop the hashtag to be entered. Okay, because I got a giveaway here before we do that. Then Stillwater, signed by Jason Low Ramon PEREZ, folks. Okay, what else do we got here? We've got the Blue Flame #1, signed by ADAM GORHAM. All right, as well as issue 3. All right, folks, signed by ADAM GORHAM, and issue #2. All right, so 1, 2, 3 of the Blue Flame, all signed by Mr. ADAM GORHAM, and then Stillwater, signed by Jason Low and Ramon PEREZ. And all you gotta do is drop Han 1 year in the live chats. We got a spinner wheel going on, so if you haven't already, there's your opportunity, and I'm even going to give you guys an opportunity for a bonus entry. So pay attention to this next little clip that I've put together, and just listen. We've been doing this for 1 year. Just a little bit of what we've done this past year. Hope you guys enjoy this. Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There you have it, folks. 1 year of the House of Nerd Show, man. Just thank you to everybody who's been supporting the show. Oh,
oops, hold on.
Anything to add, man?
No.
Nothing at all?
Well, I was going through the comments, putting people in the wheel.
Oh, okay. All right. Not only that. Listen, Oh, okay. So here's the question. Here's the bonus entry. If you can, first one to answer, how many different creators have we had on the show? How many different creators have we had on the show? First one to drop in that answer gets a bonus entry.
Is this a trick question?
No, it's not a trick question. It was right there. It was there for everybody to see, man.
No, I saw it, but one of those wasn't a creator.
Well. I had to fill out but there you have it, folks. Miss Film Noir is the first one. So Al, if you could please add her name a second time to the Wheel of Fortune. 30 creators is the right answer. Inja was 20 interviews, slightly different. So 20 total interviews. Speaking of 20 interviews, guys, I just put a little montage together of all the different creators we've had on the show.
You should have said 29 then. No.
Yeah. No, it was 30. It was 30 plus.
I didn't see it. Usually I'm pretty good at finding the hidden use, but I didn't see.
Yeah. So as yes, 20 interviews, 30 creators, the right one. I'm gonna play a little montage of all the creators we've had on the show. Here we go.
I think we've definitely confused people enough to go, this is Ram 5.
Hey everyone.
What's going on, Julio? How you doing? Good morning.
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good morning, Rodney. Thank you so much for coming, hanging out with us here on the House of Nerd Show.
Good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Yes. So we're excited to have you guys on. Thank you so much for coming out, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Happy to be here.
Good morning. Or
Morning.
afternoon.
Thanks so much for having me. It's really fun. I love that this is a crossover event.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
Good morning. I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good morning.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
How's everybody doing today?
Yeah, good. Bit
Not too
tired, bit
shabby?
hungover.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, Jacob had a party last night. Didn't invite me.
Alrighty.
Hi.
Oh my God! I'm gonna bring him on in. Hey, what's going on, Kerry? How you doing, buddy?
Yes, you made it.
I made it.
Vamos. Let's go, Julio. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me here, guys.
Woo. I'm
I'm
nervous.
excited to talk about the book. You guys have been big supporters.
Good morning, Sergio.
How's everybody doing today?
Good.
We're doing very well. Thanks for having us.
Really happy to be here.
Hey.
How's it going? Welcome to the House of Nerd.
Thank you for having us.
Welcome so much, guys. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
It's the 2021 Nerdies Comic Book Awards show. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me, and thank you for all the kind words about Philadelphia.
Hey. Good morning.
Magic, like magic.
It is magic.
I was just somewhere else. I was outside walking. All of a sudden
This is amazing.
What's up,
Sergio? Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, and thanks to everybody that voted for me. It's it's really nice to get an award.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. And thanks for having us.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Can you hear me all right?
You come loud and clear.
Hi.
You, sir, are the winner of the 2021 Nerdies Best Ongoing Series. That's no joke.
Thank you very much.
Yay!
I haven't seen Philippe in a really long time. It's good to see you, Philippe.
Hey, there you go.
Too. And to you, Sergio.
Hey.
What's up?
How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the House of Nerd Show presents Virtual Brunch Mukbang with Jason Lowe.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, I didn't know I was a surprise. I hope I didn't let anyone down.
Hey, guys.
Hey, good morning, Zach. Thank you so much
morning.
for joining us on the House of Nerd Show today. How's it going?
Sure. Thanks for having me.
That's it. That's it, folks. Every single one of the creators to come through, to roll through. Hey, we've been lucky, man. We've been lucky to have all that amazing talent. Al, did you have a favorite?
Papa
Favorite guest?
V.
We know you like Papa V. We didn't even say around me. You got Papa V. For those who
Papa
don't
V.
know, Papa V, aka Ram V. Okay.
Dave Baker and Azra was a lot of fun.
That
was a really fun interview.
And for those who don't know, hey, let's throw him a little under the bus here, but that was a little bit of a crazy episode because I think Dave was a good 30 minutes late due to the
that
time
was
change.
the infamous beef queef episode.
Was that the one?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. The queeferito.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you just missed Sheldon.
You just missed him, buddy. But feel free to catch the replay. Great, we had a great time with Sheldon, and now Sheldon's the first creator in our second year that we're starting. So your favorite is Ram, is Papa V.
Well, I'll say, I don't know. Am I echoing?
Nope.
I'll say the first time I felt like super comfortable during an interview was probably with the Darling team. That was a lot of fun for me. My first interview on the show was Ricky. And then we did, Chip Zdarsky right after that. And the way I didn't say one word, because I was like, I don't even know what to say.
If you folks want to watch an episode, an interview where Al manages to say a total of 3 words, go back and check out Chip and Jacob's interview.
And it's so crazy because he's one of my favorites. But I think I was like nervous to talk to Rom, but he was probably my favorite interview just because of how big a fan I am of his work, and it was like genuinely super easy to talk to him. So very cool.
Big fan of his work or big fan of
his work?
Okay. Well, we'll leave it at that.
Verb or subject, right?
Yeah. How about if anybody at home watching? Did you guys have a favorite interview, favorite artist?
Who's been your favorite interview?
My favorite? That's a good question. I haven't really given that thought. Honestly, the Darling guys were a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun.
The quietest I've seen you during an interview was Gary Frank, or talking with Gary Frank. You were a little shy boy.
Listen, Gary Frank is that was a huge guy.
Yeah.
We got him for the nerdies there. One of the, he's been around since like forever now, right?
Yeah.
Legend, man. One of my favorites, man. So maybe a little starstruck for that one. That was huge.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah. But I say maybe the Darling guys were there. They were a lot of fun. And then again, Alexis and Dave Baker. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
That entire episode, it was just shenanigans. So
yeah, Alexis is just so brutally honest about everything. It's the funniest, best conversation.
Oh, you guys need to go check that out. It's like no holds barred. He gets into it.
He just says it.
Tara liked Misty and Steve. That was fun.
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
That was fun.
We
got into some first date horror stories.
Mm-hmm.
What else
also, another pre-recorded was Christian and Kiarn. That recording that episode was a lot of fun too. I think Christian and Azrid are kind of similar in their openness. So those were really fun. Yeah.
That was a good one. Shit, man. Yeah, we had a lot. I think in general, the nerdies was crazy.
And Zoo, we love Zoo.
You already know. That goes without saying, man. Zoo's the best, man.
She's the sweetest.
We're looking forward to getting her. Absolutely, getting her back on the show there. Oh, who do you want to bring on? I don't think I asked you on Friday.
Yeah, you conveniently had to go crack the seal when it was my turn, so you know.
Ooh. So I missed it.
You did.
Oh, okay.
I was saying Krista Faust would love to have her on. Like Maria Lovett, or and I know we've reached out to. I was telling them on Friday. You know, some people I've reached out to, and it's just that language barrier. So it's people. It would be really cool to have on. I'm not like too sure about the logistics, but yeah, but mostly I would love to have Krista on.
Yeah. Yeah, from Hit Me.
CM doing the accent was hilarious.
CM Brad. Yeah, that's right. She had the fake, and she kept it going for like a good 10, 15 minutes. And of course, me and you knew what was up. But I was wondering when the audience was gonna be clued in. I said she's not from the UK, but
any well wishes to her right now. I know she's been posting. She's been going through some medical stuff, so best wishes to her.
Shout out to CM. All the best to you, man. Yeah, for sure. So you know, listen, folks, we've had a lot of fun this past year, and we got you know we're just getting started. Big things in the works. I just arrived to work. What she said? I missed that.
She was. She's gonna
watch
it.
Thank you, Princess. Thank you. You know, we appreciate that. Thank you so much, man. You know, you're on that grind. Keep doing your thing. Keep doing your thing. Should we do that? Should we do the giveaway? I mean, should we do it now, or you want to do the copy drop first? The second half of the.
Why'd you say it like that? Somebody not do the first part?
So we did. We were supposed to discuss Philadelphia. I think it was at 2021 now, something like that. In the 20s, anyways.
In the 20s. Okay.
Ms. Aldana did not do her homework, did not catch up.
But listen to this, guys. Let's give them a little bit of a teaser here. I was like, I tried to spin it so I didn't look bad. So I'm just like, hey, the last book drops June 29th, my birthday, conveniently. And of the arc, the last book of the arc, just in time for the 4th of July, the July 3rd episode. How fitting, given the content of the book. So I think we're going to do a special Philadelphia episode on July 3rd.
That'd be cool.
I think that'd be cool. And then we could have people on who are caught up all the way. And we could have like a proper, discussion. And I promise it'll be read.
Al, you've been promising me that you're gonna catch up on Philadelphia for like let's just, I think the past year, really.
I mean, I've probably been saying that since 2019. Yeah.
Man, to be honest, and which is funny because we met through Philadelphia, right? You know?
Yeah.
Philadelphia community. So.
Or maybe is it like everybody else on Friday night? How did you guys get introduced to House of Nerd? Everybody had the same answer.
You better start. Well, never mind that. Never mind that. Disregard that. Get out of here.
We do have something planned for Mother's Day, but it's not necessarily that.
We will have them. Yeah, hey, you never know. You never know what's going on. Yeah, Mel knows what's up. She's in the chat. He's putting me on that right now. Wow. Okay.
All right, you want to do?
I mean, so your call. Do you want to do copper drop, or should we just get into the giveaway?
She said, "But we're all special."
Every single one of you. Every single one. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So listen, someone's got like great chances to win this. We got like only a handful, folks. So someone's gonna be the lucky winner. Yeah, shuffle it a bunch. And
somebody click to spin. Ready?
You're gonna click it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. Let's get it over. Tara's got 2 entries. Look at that. You change it. Boom, boom. There you go. There you go. Ms. Film Noir Tara. Congrats. You are the winner of the giveaway. Hey, that worked out nicely. That worked out nicely. Couldn't have happened to a better person, valued member of the community. Congratulations. So you already know I'm gonna get those out to you expeditiously. Expeditiously. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Congrats. Gonna get those out to you. Hey, signed books. Can't go wrong, yeah? Can't go wrong. I noticed you didn't put my name in there. Why?
I
wanted a
did.
chance.
Your name was in there 3 times.
Okay. All right. So yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Much deserved win. Day 1, House of Nerd. What doing cover drop? Or should we just wrap it up?
Well, because next week is like a regular episode, let's just get this over with. We already know who's winning this one.
Okay. I'm not even gonna do a poll. We're gonna do quickly.
We don't even need a poll for this one because I'll be real, guys. I'll take full responsibility. I didn't do banners for this like I usually do.
Nothing.
Oh, do you want to play the intro?
Where's the intro, man?
Coffer drop.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, so actually you remembered this time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's do it one time. Where's the copper drop? Here we go, folks. Boom. Boom. What are we talking here? Who's going first?
Sergio, are we reading books this week? Are we reading books this week?
Are we reading books?
Are we reading books this week?
Ma'am, are you reading books? You better stop.
I took the week off. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I
Okay.
Here we go. So my pick, Bloodstained Teeth #1. Holy, have I been hype for this one since they announced it. I think it feels like 3-4 months back now. Christian Ward, he's an artist. I think this is his first writing venture. And he's an incredible artist, man. And Patrick Reynolds is the artist on this one. Heather Moore coloring, and Hassan, one of our favorite letterers on letters. What is this about? It's a new ongoing series, fast-paced 100 bullets style crime saga with fangs. That's how they're pitching it. So Atticus Sloan, misanthrope, criminal, asshole, and vampire, lives in a world where blood isn't the only thing vamps crave. And for the right price, he'll make you a vampire too. After all, immortality is not cheap. Do we have any preview slides for this one now?
Yeah, I've been playing them.
Have you? Oh, okay, there you go. I'm sorry. I was off screen. There's no need for that attitude. But look at it.
Oh, no, attitude.
Look at, this looks absolutely incredible. I love this page, yo. Damn, yo. This is, man, forget it. I think this is the one. This is the book. If you're gonna grab one book next week, it has to be this one, man. To be frank. So that's my pitch. I'm keeping it simple. L, what mid are you gonna pitch us?
So this is the mid I'm pitching. The naughty list. There's a artist, there's a writer, there's a colorist, there's a publisher. It's a Santa Claus origin story, but with a twist.
What is the twist, madame?
There's one.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me? Let me read you how. This is because the description for it is like very much here comes the Santa Claus origin story we're sure you've never heard before. That's like the synopsis, so not much to go on. It was kind of hard to even find slides for this, so but he had a family once, a wife, a child. I'm assuming they're dead. He's been around for hundreds of years. This is his story. Hashtag Law and Order, but I don't know.
Okay.
It sounds interesting, but let's be real. We're all here for, you know, what we're really all gonna be reading.
So, what's it gonna be, folks? Bloodstained Teeth, or I don't even remember whatever book. Let's be honest. I don't.
First comment wins.
I think you're throwing in the towel on this one, folks.
First title in the chat wins. Oh,
no,
why would House of Nerd?
Get out of here. Get out of here. Give us Bloodstained Teeth. Just give me one, folks. Come on now. Be nice. Be nice.
Nobody's gonna say anything. Go ahead and start texting your friends.
I'm about to. We're going with Bloodstained Teeth, folks. We're going with Bloodstained Teeth. How about that?
Tara, you have time to type. Okay, thank you, Tara.
There you go. Oh, hey, what you doing? There you go. Thank you so much. She normally votes for you, but she said, okay, this guy he's about to send me books. I want to make sure I get him, so I'll vote his pick. No, but I'm hyped to check this one out. Super hype. So we're talking, but we're actually gonna talk. We're gonna read it.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, we don't. Next week is a regular show, I believe. So I'm gonna make time to read. Oh, well, actually, I still need to read this week's stuff.
I'm so behind on my reading. Hey, Oscar, thank you so much for tuning in, man. Yeah. Thank you. You know, always been there. Day one, man. Appreciate all your support, buddy. Thanks for coming through. I feel like let's wrap it up, Al. Get rid of that coffee drop banner. It's about that time. Get rid of that. Listen, folks. Thank you so much for hanging out with us each and every week, each and every Sunday. You know, we have a blast, man. We have a blast with you guys. You guys make this show amazing and so much fun. Elle, any final words?
Final words.
There you have it, folks. Elle, always a lady of many words, I guess. Well, how's the saying go? Thank you so much, Mel. We'll see you guys next week. It's been a long week, but we've had a lot of fun. We out.